If you're suffering from TikTok brain or you're one of these digital dementia iPhone junkies, this video I'm shooting is not for you. I'm shooting this video. It's titled 57 Unpopular Thoughts. I am on my 57th birthday, Michael McLean, and today is my 57th birthday, 57 trips around the sun. Today I actually sat down here on the end of the dock and took a couple hours and wrote down 57 unpopular truths, 57 whatever you want to call them, secrets. I call it expensive experience in business all these years. I call it a lot of bloodied-nosed experiences as a former professional hockey coach, as an entrepreneur for the last 40 some years, as a husband, as a father. I've had lots of losing. I've had lots of frustrations, lots of struggles, lots of expensive experience in all those areas of my life. So I'm going to share my 57 most unpopular ideas. A lot of these are writers down. I'll go through them as quick as I can on my walk here with you. But again, this video is only for elite, generous, and driven men, husbands, fathers, and entrepreneurs who are looking for that slight edge when it comes to anything. So I'll start off my list, 57 unpopular thoughts on my birthday today, turning 57. These are not in any particular order, but actually number one is number one in my mindset, and that is a man without a mission is a man without balls. This is something that I have on my bathroom mirror that I read every morning when I'm brushing my teeth. You look in 2025 at anybody, any weak men, any unhappy men, anybody that's struggling with, anxiety, depression, manufactured mental illness. I always find it in my athletes, in my students, in my employees. They're lacking a mission. They're lacking a purpose and a calling that's bigger than themselves. A man on a mission gets chills. It literally, the hair stands up on the back of your neck when you talk about your particular mission. And when a man doesn't have a mission, he doesn't have a purpose, he doesn't have a calling. And it's been my belief that we're all put here by our Creator or our personal God or the universe. We're all put here for a purpose. And as a man, it's your job to find, what's my reason for being here? Who have I been called to serve? And then serving those people. And your mission is something very personal. You have to decide what it is. It's not something that I can decide, or your spouse can decide, or your kids can decide. It starts with you asking yourself every single day, day after day, what's my reason for being? Who have I been called to serve? And then finding a way to serve those people. I've been on multiple missions throughout my career. I've been on missions that have been 6 months, 12 months, 12 years. And it all depends, but what's your calling and purpose for being here? Number two, well done is better than well said. My 12-year-old daughter, Emery, had the number one real estate agent in America on her podcast, The Emery McLean Show, last month in Naples. And she asked the realtor, she said, what's the greatest piece, the most powerful piece of advice that you've ever been given? And without any hesitation, the realtor said, well done is better than well said. It is all about done. It's not about overthinking. It's not about opening loops. It's not about starting. It's about finishing. Well done is better than well said. 3, the secret to living is giving. When I was broke, when I was unhappy, when I was fat, when I was when I was struggling, I was a taker. I was a taker. It was me, 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 me. The same as somebody who's suffering from manufactured mental illness. It was all about me, 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 me. I was the victim. I was, life owed me a living. The second I changed to my mentality, which goes with my mission, who to serve, is when it became about service, whether it was working with the Rotary Club or the food bank or kids in youth sports or raising funds for animal shelters or whatever the hell it was. The second I became a man of service, the key to living is giving. The secret to living is giving, to living with an attitude of gratitude. I became wealthy. I became healthy, and I became fit. Just amazing. There's two types of people in the world, takers and givers. You decide which you want to be, but I'll tell you right now, when it comes to serving other people, it is a secret to wealth, health, and happiness. Number 4, for you men out there, your teenage sons, your young sons, daughters, never shake another person's hand sitting down. When I was coaching junior hockey with my championship Perth Blue Wings team, I had young men aged 16 to 21. And one of the very first things that I ever taught each man year after year, I coached the team for 5 years, owned it for 7, is teaching them how to shake a hand properly, look somebody in the eye, and make good eye contact, but never shake somebody's hand sitting down. Whether they're sitting down or whether you're sitting down, you wait or you get on your feet and you stand and you shake a person's hand standing up. Simple concepts that are no longer common sense, but it need to happen. Eye contact, firm handshake. Never, ever shake a man's or a woman's hand sitting down. Number 5, my friend Tom Burns, who's in my elite mastermind, my Badass Brotherhood money-making mastermind, when he was doing his hot seat at a recent live mastermind in Florida, he had a quote here, never let the old man in. And I heard somebody else say that too, but I'll give him credit for this incredible quote. Tom, it's interesting. Tom is, he's 67 years old. He's in the best physical shape of his life at age 67. I mean, this guy is crushing it, but he's got a mentality that serves him where he's always saying, never let the old man in. The way he talks to himself, the way everything is, don't let the old man in. He's always hanging around younger people, people with open minds, people with good energy, people that are happy, people that are fit, people that are high performance people. Never let the old man in. Number 6, there is nothing more powerful than environment and association. Willpower doesn't work. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You are a product of the environment that you put yourself in. One of my favorite all-time books, greatest book, is Willpower Does Not Work, written by my pal Ben Hardy. And it's one of the most powerful books. And basically it just says that we're our environment. And you choose your environment. What's in your fridge is your environment. What's in your cupboard is an environment. What's in your vehicle is your environment. And you set up your environment to support the behaviors you want. That's the reason I don't have any alcohol in my home. That's the reason I don't have any potato chips or pretzels in my home, because if it's there, I'm going to consume it. I'm going to use it. Same thing with toxic people. I curated and swift sorted and took an axe to all the toxic radioactive people in my life years ago. I continue to do it to this day, but that's all about getting those people, those time vampires, those energy vampires, getting them the hell out of your world. Because you are, and I am, we're the average of the 5 people we hang around with. So who in your life needs to go, and what habits or things or activities in your life are stinking to high heaven that need to be shown the door? We are the product of our environment. Environment is for champions. Willpower is for chumps. Number 7, the great Pat Riley, NBA legendary coach. He said it best. There is winning and there is misery. I could not agree more. As a former minor pro coach, as a tennis professional, as a owner of my own 2 junior teams, winning and misery. If you're not sick to your stomach when you come up short, there's something fundamentally wrong with you. I mean, I want to surround myself, whether it's in business, my personal life, or my athletic life. I want to fill my world with people that are literally sick to their stomach when they come up short. And that's how champions operate. There is winning and there is misery. Number 8, marriage is hard. Marriage is difficult. Yeah, that is what makes it the most worthwhile relationship in a man's life. Marriage is hard. Marriage is difficult. We just celebrated my mom and dad's 60th anniversary last week. They're 91, turning 92. And they've been an incredible role model for my sister and my brother and myself. But at the end of the day, marriage is difficult and hard, like all relationships. And it takes just as much work as marketing or making money. You got to study, you got to learn, you got to grow together. You gotta decide on values. You gotta decide on money. You gotta do all these different things that really have an impact on the long term of the relationship. So marriage is hard, marriage is difficult, but it's a process, a daily process that is always worthwhile having in your life and making happen. So number 9, never ever put another person on a pedestal. The only thing that belongs on a pedestal in your life is your personal mission. That's it, that's all. Everything else doesn't belong on a pedestal. So I've always been amazed, especially in 2025, with anti-social media and politics and the fake news and all this celebrity horse shit around us and pro athletes that are put up as heroes and pedestals. At the end of the day, you never ever put another person on a pedestal. Even somebody who's a legendary person in one area of their life, whether it's a Michael Jordan, whether it's a Steve Jobs, whether it's an Elon Musk, whether it's an Andrew Carnegie, whether it was, the Wright brothers or Einstein. Those people were wizards and top 1%ers in an area of your life. But it doesn't mean that you take marriage advice from them or parenting advice. Just be very careful of who you ask directions from. And make sure they're a person who's already been there and continues to be successful in that particular area. But stop putting people on pedestals. Everybody's human. There's no adults in the room. I've met so many Hall of Fame players, whether basketball players, hockey players, Hall of Fame coaches. And I'll tell you, like my grandfather said, every single one of these so-called legends, Hall of Fame legends and famous people, every single one of them, like my grandfather says, still puts their pants on one leg at a time. So stop putting anybody on a pedestal. The only thing that belongs on your pedestal is your personal mission. So number 10, drive a straight stake through the hearts of time and energy vampires in your life. They are literally sucking the life force out of you and killing your future. A time and an energy vampire, you know who those are, right? Those are the takers in your life, whether it's an employee, whether it's a high school chum from back in the day, a drinking buddy, somebody who literally sucks your time and your energy away, and they just leave you feeling drained and less. And this is a problem with a lot of people pleasers. But I cut all the time vampires and energy vampires out of my life immediately. If I even get a whiff that somebody is going to waste my time or disrespect me or disrespect my energy or my boundaries, they are gone. Swift sword. So important that you clean these people out of your environment. 11, what I'm doing right now, walking 10,000 steps minimum a day outside in nature, and 90% of your problems will be solved. I probably lied about that. It's probably 95% of your problems would be solved. If you can get your ass out of bed every morning, drink a couple of glasses of water and put the shoes on and start walking outside in nature with no technology, no phone, no fucking earbuds, no podcasts, none of that stuff, no music, and just be alone with yourself for 30 minutes or 45 minutes or 60 minutes. But as a man, you need to put a minimum 10,000 steps on the odometer every single day. I've been walking 10 to 15,000 steps a day for the last 17, 18 years. And literally, it's more than physical. It's a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual workout. So, number 12, my friend, the great NHL coach, Guy Boucher, rest is a weapon. Sleep is a weapon. Nobody knew this more than Coach Guy, and he used to preach this to his NHL players in Tampa and Toronto and Ottawa. Rest is a weapon. If you dial in your sleep, you go to bed at the same time every night, you get up at the same time every morning, everything in life changes for the better. You know what it feels like to have an amazing sleep? You need to dial that in for 7 nights a week. Remember, rest is a weapon. Number 13, tell your children, your teenagers, your young adults, your grandchildren every day, I believe in you. All this lovey-dovey stuff that, dads are told to be a good dad. You know the number one thing I tell my 12-year-old daughter every day since the day she was born, when I'm putting her to bed and we're doing our reading time, is I stop every night before I turn off the light and I look her square in the eyes and I go, I believe in you. I believe in you. Do you know anybody can overcome almost anything if they have one person in their life that believes in them? Whether it's a coach, whether it's a school teacher, whether it's a minister, whether it's a good quality friend, whether it's a mentor, whether anybody, but everybody needs one person to believe in them. And you as an elite father, your children and your teenagers and your grandchildren, they need to hear it from you consistently. I believe in you. 14, got to be and wake up. That's what I said about rest. You want to use rest as a weapon. You want to get, you dial in with consistent sleep. Then go to bed at the same time every night and get up at the same time. I go to bed every night at 10 p.m. and I get up every day at 5:59. That's 7 hours of glorious sleep. When I'm the odd time when we're at a wedding or something or out later for dinner or whatever the hell it is, I got to tell you, I still get up at the exact same time. I'll have a nap in the afternoon to make up for it, but go to bed at the same time every night, get up at the same time every day. I actually set an oven kitchen alarm that goes off at 9 p.m. in our kitchen when Krista and I are in watching a Netflix show before bed or sitting out watching the sunset. This alarm, this ding goes off at 9 p.m., which reminds me it's 1 hour to bedtime. And I found this setting an alarm before 4 to go to sleep has been more valuable than ever using an alarm first thing in the morning. Delete all anti-social, news, entertainment, any of that rat poison. Get it off your phone. I don't carry a cell phone. I use this broken iPhone 7 to shoot these videos, but I don't carry a cell phone with me unless it was emergency situation. But if you're carrying a phone all day, get those toys and gadgets, get those apps off there. You shouldn't have any easy ways of accessing that stuff. And that way, use your phone as a phone and use it for texting. I even went as far as getting email off my phone years ago when I used to carry one. So even when I pick up my phone, it's only for texting and it's only for real phone calls. And I'm telling you right now, that alone will save you several hours per week. Number 16, spend the first 3 to 5 minutes every day on your knee giving thanks for your health, your family, and your mission. Whatever your beliefs are, your spiritual beliefs, universe, creator, God, whatever you believe in. I always wake up at the same time, 1 or 2 minutes to 6. The very first thing I do is I start my day by dropping to my knees at the edge of the bed, and I just simply give thanks to my creator. I give thanks for ordinary things, different every day, for the love of and support of my wife, my daughter, the health of my mom and dad, simple things like water and books and a cup of coffee and whatever it is that day. But I start my day by thanking my creator, my personal Lord. And I always end by saying, please use me to serve others today. Whether that's an email, whether that's a video, whether that's volunteering, but something inside my mission of serving others. 17, pay yourself first in time. The old saying used to be to pay yourself 10%, pay yourself first in business, which is absolutely correct. Pay yourself the first 10% when it comes to the money inside your company or your paycheck. The first 10% of every dollar belongs to you and your investing. But also I apply it to time. Your most valuable, precious, non-negotiable, finite result is time. So I always I pay myself in time first. How do you do this? The first hour of the day belongs to you. That's a writer downer. The first hour of the day belongs to you. And in that first hour goes your most important priority, not your phone, none of that other stuff, no distractions, no other people's agenda. You get up in the first hour of the day, you work on your mission, What's the number one thing that if you accomplish today, that today will be a success? Do that first thing in the morning. Sometimes for me through the years, the first hour of the day has been my walk. Some days it has been my reading time, reading and studying books. It's also been my writing and marketing time, Operation Money Suck. It changes throughout the years, but the first hour of the day belongs to you. If you don't have this hour of solitude, make sure you get to bed an hour earlier and get up an hour earlier. As soon as I started paying myself with that first hour of the day 20 years ago, everything in my life changed for the better. Back to the number 18 is pay yourself in wealth. So that's the old pay yourself 10%. I like to stretch it to 15%, but of every dollar you make, whether you're working for somebody or if you're running your own company, the very first 10% or 15% belongs to you. And that should be put away in a secure investment and built up over time. And you need to teach your young children and your teenagers, save a minimum 10, even better 15% of every dollar that comes in. It's not for the government, it's not for taxes, it's not for coffees, it's not for partying, it's not for technology, it's for investing. Minimum 10 to 15%. Pay yourself first in money and pay yourself first in time. Number 19, read 10 pages of a print book or newsletter or print article every day. This is a minimum. I mean, it takes 10 minutes to put the phone away and to sit down and to literally read and study. I call it sharpening the axe, the staying smart every day. I read for an hour minimum every day, some days 2 and 3 hours. But I'm going to tell you, the secret is to print off whatever it is you're reading, to buy physical print books, print newsletters, and to literally sit down with your highlighters and your pens and your cup of coffee and read a minimum 10 pages a day. That's 70 pages a week. That's a couple of books a month. Don't say there's no time for reading, but if you read 10 pages a day, you're putting yourself in the top 1% of 1% of 1%, because most people don't read anymore. Critical that you have your morning reading time, minimum 10 pages per day. Number 20, date your wife. Your queen is your secret weapon. She's your ride or die partner in business. And without her, I mean, you're gonna live life on hard mode. But my marriage greatly improved when Krista and I started going on a weekly date. Sometimes it's just a walk. Sometimes it's just sitting down by the water. Some days it's going for lunch. Some days it's going to dinner. But at the end of the day, what's important is that it's just time together. We leave our phones, there's no phones, and we just spend time dating. You want to improve your marriage? You want a marriage that's on fire? Start dating your wife. Number 21, never respect another person who doesn't respect you. I'm teaching this almost every week to my 12-year-old daughter. Don't respect and don't put people on pedestals, but especially don't give respect to somebody who doesn't respect you, whether they're verbally abusive or they're unfriendly or they've got poor manners. Never respect a person who doesn't return the respect. 22, keep your iPhone locked away for the first hour of the day. This goes back to owning the first hour of the day. It belongs to you. Lock that phone away at bedtime and make sure that you don't even touch it. Don't ever keep it in your bedroom. Lock it down in your safe. Lock it in your desk in the basement or somewhere where it's impossible to get it. And at least for the first hour of the day, get up and play offense. When you check your phone first thing in the morning, that's called playing defense. That's losing control of your day in the first 10 minutes. What's inside that phone? Somebody else's agenda, somebody else's mission. Lock it away, get up and play offense, stop playing defense and stop playing small. Put the phone away, leave it away at least for the first hour of the day and start playing offense and playing to win. First thing that should enter your body every morning, 2 large glasses of filtered water. So I started doing this, 11 or 12 years ago. Tomorrow starts today. So the last thing I do before I lock the house and put on the alarm system is I pour 2 large glasses of pure filtered water from the fridge and I put them out on the island. And when I come out in the morning after I put on my walking gear and I walk out into the darkness of the morning, I turn on the kitchen and what's waiting for me? These 2 large glasses of filtered water. Like, I don't want to be stumbling around. I don't want to be remembering. I immediately drink both glasses of water like they were beers back in college. And that's the first thing I put in my body after I brush my teeth and wake up. No coffee, no protein shakes, none of that stuff. Just 2 large glasses of water. My body hasn't had any hydration in at least 8 to 10 hours. So, and that'll clear the brain fog. That gives your kidneys and your bowels and your brain a chance to cleanse, and it just sets you up for the rest of the morning. 2 glasses of water, put them out the night before, drink them when you wake up, and just watch what happens once you hydrate first thing in the morning. Number 24, there's no downsides to taking creatine every day. Do your research. I'm testing 5 to 10 to 15 milligrams of creatine in my morning water. I usually have it after my walk when I have my 3rd glass of water, but you can have it anytime. But creatine is so powerful for brain health. In my family, we have dementia. Through my mom suffers from dementia, my grandmother. So I'm doing everything I can to work on my brain health. And creatine, of course, is a source of good brain health. It's good also for training when you're doing push-ups, sit-ups, weights, strength training, foundation training. It just makes me feel much younger. It makes me feel much more focused. My concentration has improved. Creatine every single day in your water. Do your research. It's a powerful, powerful secret weapon. 25. I learned this in the insurance business when I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I didn't have any time. I was just literally being pushed around during my day. And a mentor told me, make calls, Michael, never take calls. So from that day on, I stopped taking calls when the phones would ring in the office. My receptionist would take a message, and then I would block out an hour in the morning and block out an hour in the afternoon, and I would return all my calls at one time. I called it batching. I batched my emails, I batched my phone calls, I batched all those low-end activities, and the rest of the time I could work on what I had to work because I didn't take phone calls, unscheduled phone calls. I made calls, and that changed my product. It changed my business life. Number 26, thoughts. Write one email to your list every day and sell them a product that transforms their life. That's salesmanship 101. So I've been writing a daily email, no matter what business I was in, the barbershop business, the hockey business, the insurance business, the coaching business, the window cleaning business, whatever business I'm in, I slowly and gradually build an email list, and I email the list almost every day. I've been emailing if you're on my list, you get an email every single day from me. And the reason I do this is I want to serve people every day. And I'm selling a product. That that essentially is going to help somebody. So I'm not going to take days off from that. And I sit down in my writing time every morning with a cup of coffee, and I write a simple email, friend to friend. If you're on my list, you receive it. I do that every single day, and I have sales coming in every single day, Saturday, Sunday, Christmas, Thanksgiving, you name it. Every day I'm committed to helping people by selling and promoting the products that transform people's lives. Number 27, there's only 2 types of people in the world. Remember this, takers and givers. Fill your life with givers, people that give back and serve, and get rid of all the takers in your life, all the freebie seekers, the time vampires, the energy vampires. If you even get a sniff that somebody is a taker, get them as far away from you as you can. Doesn't matter, family, friends, relatives, old buddies, whatever the hell it is, fill your life with takers. Rule number 28, if you're not obsessed about it, you'll never be the world's best. I always tell my students to get into a micro niche, to piss through a straw, you want to be the brain surgeon of your industry. You don't want to be the general practitioner. You don't want to run a general store. You want to be the neurosurgeon who, the highest paid person because you're an absolute specialist. Well, the thing to remember is regardless of what you choose to do in your super niche, it's got to be something you're obsessed with, not curious about, not interested in, not even passionate about. If you want to be the world's best in your tiny little niche, you've got to be fucking obsessed about it. When I owned my hockey team, I was on a mission to win a Barclay Cup. I wasn't interested. I wasn't curious. I wasn't hardworking. I wasn't passionate about that. I was absolutely obsessed. I was obsessed with winning a Barclay Cup for our community and our players, and it's all I could eat, sleep, and breathe and talk about. I could not talk about it. That's the level of obsession that's required for you and your mission and your business. Not just curiosity. You need to be obsessed. You want a marriage that's on fire. You need to be obsessed with that. You want a special connection with your children and grandchildren, you need to be obsessed about it. You want to build a 6 or 7 or 8 figure business, you need to be obsessed with that mission. You want to make a huge difference in your community through your volunteering, through your fundraising, you better be obsessed with that. You better eat, sleep, and breathe it all the time. And that goes back to your man on a mission. Here's one here. Bedtime ritual talk. This is a really good one. It's worth the entire video if you just do this one thing. But attitude of gratitude. We started this 4 years ago. My wife, Krista, and I, we've been married for 13 years, 20 years together. And we started doing a bedtime gratitude ritual. We haven't missed, unless one of us is away, which is very rare. And the last thing we do before we turn the lights off at night is we ask each other, what are you grateful for today? And Krista will go first and she'll say maybe 3 things, maybe 4 things. They're always different. It's not your to-do list. And she'll say, you know, I'm grateful for my visit with my dad today. I'm grateful for Emery's teachers. I'm grateful for my friends at the yoga studio, whatever it is. And then she'll ask me the same question, what am I grateful for? And every day I'll answer with what I'm grateful for. And again, it's not a to-do list. It's not what you did that day, but it's about, okay, you know, I'm grateful for the book I'm reading. I'm grateful for the home. I'm grateful for Canada or the United States. I'm grateful for shoes on my feet. It can be big, it can be small, but it's just that attitude of gratitude. Now remember this, your subconscious works while you sleep for the next 6, 7, 8 hours. When you end with gratitude instead of watching the news or watching sports or listening to or scrolling, doom scrolling, you're filling your mind with something that's incredibly powerful, which is gratitude. That's what your brain is going to be percolating for the next 7, 8 hours while you sleep. So then you wonder why you wake up so refreshed and so happy and so excited. It's because the last thing you put in your mind was gratitude, that attitude of gratitude. If you just do that one thing, whether you do it by yourself or do it with your queen or your girlfriend or your spouse, and just ask each other right before bed, what's something you're thankful for, and then go to sleep. And that's the last thing that your mind will work on every night, is that attitude of gratitude. Number 30, this is from my 91-year-old dad who's turning 92. This is the greatest time in history to be alive. You're not going to hear that from any other coaches. You're not going to hear that in any other videos. This is from my 91-year-old father who says he's seen it all. He was born into the Depression in 1933. He's been through, you know, double-digit inflation. He's been through double-digit mortgage rates. He's been through gas lines. He's been through a world war. He's been through, you know, the Soviet Union. He's been through the missile crisis. He's been through the Iran stuff. He's been through the Reagan years. He's been through the Carter years. And my dad always says there's nothing, son, that's new under the sun. We've all been through this before. So he said to me, he said, but there is one difference. He says, this is the greatest time in history to be alive. He said, we are awash in abundance, opportunity, and wealth like never before in history. And that's a fact. That's not an opinion. We are standing in trillions of dollars of wealth every day, rivers of money. We have abundance and opportunity like never before. My wife and I and my daughter live in the 2 greatest countries in the world, the United States of America and Canada. We've got AI, we've got the internet, we've got access to billions and billions of people. It's just unlimited. And like my dad said the other day, he says the good old days are now. He says the good old days are today. And it's like Jim Harbaugh says on his business card, he says, who could possibly have it better than us? The answer, nobody. That's an attitude of gratitude. 31, my dad always mentions this, politics is theater for ugly people. Curate it out of your life. You need to know enough to vote responsibly. You need to know enough by reading books and real sources, but the stuff that's on regular TV, that's theater for ugly people, and that's not something that's going to improve your life. Make sure that stuff is not on your phone. Make sure you're not following that. It's just rat poison for your brain, and make sure that you're informed, but make sure that you have 1 or 2 real sources, and that you're not filling your brain with theater for ugly people. 22, drink 1 gallon of fresh water every day. It starts with those 2 glasses first thing in the morning. I got this idea from the great Tom Brady, 7-time Super Bowl champion quarterback. Brady drinks 2 gallons of water a day, but he calls it his secret weapon. So I bought one of those big gallon jugs on Amazon years ago, and I just keep it by my desk at home, at work, in the car, and by about 3 o'clock every day, I've drank the whole thing. I'm not up all night peeing. I'm not racing to the bathroom in the middle of the night at all. I have my 2 glasses of water first thing in the morning, another glass of water after I get back from my walk, and I just keep sipping out of that, pouring it out of that gallon jug every day that I fill up, and I'm done. I've got a gallon of water in me by 3 p.m., 3:30. And it's amazing how my skin changed. I lost weight. My appetite got less. My brain fog disappeared. I've had less coughs and colds. My allergies have been better. My mindset is better. My focus is better. It's just amazing. Like water, a gallon a day. It sounds like a lot, but it's not. And it's literally a superpower. 33, getting there. The first 1 to 3 hours of the day are your most valuable and productive. I call the first hour, the 2 or 3 hours of the day, $4,000 an hour. And then the rest of the day is minimum wage. And that, I don't give a shit whether you think you're a morning person or not. I used to use that limiting belief. And then I started getting my butt to bed at night, and all of a sudden I found out, yes, my most valuable time is the first 3 to 4 hours of my day. That's when I walk, that's when I read, that's when I write, that's when I do my marketing, that's when I make my money. And then in the afternoon, I do my minimum wage work, which is return phone calls, return emails, text, any of that stuff. I call it $15 per hour work. But understand and protect those first 3 hours of the day. That's why I don't check my cell phone to 11 a.m. every day. I call that my magic time, from 6 to 11 in the morning. That's my deep work magic time. Nobody touches that. I don't have any dentist appointments or doctor's appointments or breakfast meetings. The first 4 to 5 hours a day belong to me, and I protect that like my life depends on it, because it does. And I do all my busy work in the afternoon, the stuff that I can do when I'm not at my best. Protect those first 3 to 4 hours, your magic time. Protect that with your life, because it depends on it. Let me see here. Ask yourself every night. This is learning to the first hour of the day, pay yourself first. Ask yourself every night, what is the one thing, if I accomplished it tomorrow, what's the one thing that it would be a successful day? And then do that first thing. And it could be a walk, could be going to the gym, it could be writing an email, it could be reading 10 pages of a book, it could be volunteering, and give that to the first hour of the day. And it's different for every person. But once you've accomplished that first thing in the morning, that first hour, then you're successful. Then you've already stacked the most important win of the day. So ask yourself that the night before. What's the most important thing I could accomplish tomorrow that would be a successful day if I only accomplish that one thing? And then do that one thing first thing in the morning. Number 35, as a parent, as a dad, you're raising lions and lionesses. Chris and I are raising a lioness, not poodles and sheep. They don't need any more BFFs. They have enough of that stuff. They don't need anybody. They need leadership. They need more boundaries. They need more chores. They need less screen time. They need to be told and challenged. They need to be told that you believe in them. They need to be, their self-esteem. But you're raising lions and lionesses, resourceful young people with grit, with hunger, you're raising a person to be a useful adult, a resourceful adult, and a person who can live a life of autonomy on their own terms. And that's our responsibility as moms and dads, to raise self-reliant adults. Let me see here. 36, when you're tired, you still have, tired is losing language. It's like can't, or I'm tired, or whatever. I used to ban those words. Those were cuss words with my hockey team. I didn't allow those words. because that's language of the poor. That's language, that's loser language, as my dad says, because it becomes reality, right? The way you talk to yourself is exactly what becomes your reality. So just so you know, when you say you're tired, maybe after lunch or maybe after dinner, they've done brain tests that show when our brain tells us we're tired, it's just playing tricks on us. And we still have 60% more to give. So it's like a person running or jogging or walking or working. When your brain tries to trick you into quitting, just remember the Navy SEAL secret. The Navy SEAL secret. You still have 60% left in the tank. I remember teaching my hockey players that when the legs feel tired, the mind's trying to trick you into quitting. That's where you turn it up another notch, where you understand the Navy SEAL rule. When you feel fatigued, when you feel like quitting, you still have 60% to give. Number 37, that's the Nike slogan. Number 37, do it trembling if you must. Just do it. For God's sake, stop overthinking it. Stop, analyzing it, and just do it. And then adjust and see. Get some feedback and make adjustments. Success is a messy kitchen, but just do it. If you're afraid or you're fearful, that's a good sign you're pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. Do it trembling if you must, but just do it. 38, nobody is coming to save you. You're 100% responsible as the king of your family, as the leader of your life. Every win and loss is at your feet. And even in those rare situations where it wasn't your fault, it's always your responsibility to fix it. So as a man, okay, you're not an adult in diapers. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to cheer you on. Nobody's coming to inspire you or motivate you or give you a hack or a shortcut. You're 100% responsible for every result in your life. You're responsible for leading your family, leading your queen, leading your children, leading your business. And nothing is more contagious than a positive example. When it comes to your children, more is caught than taught. More is caught than taught. They don't give a shit about your sermon. They don't care about your screaming and your yelling and your anger and your frustration. More is caught than taught. They'll go on what they see. Okay, broke parents have broke kids. Smoking parents have smoking kids. Alcoholic parents have alcoholic kids. Parents that smoke weed have kids that smoke weed. That's just the way it is. More is caught than taught. What message are you sending? Are you an iPhone junkie? Well, then your kid's going to be a screen iPhone junkie just as well. What are you selling? You are 100% responsible for every win and loss in your life. And even when it wasn't your fault, it's your responsibility to make sure it's corrected. Do your job right. One of my favorite, the great late Buddy Ryan, NFL coach, Super Bowl champion with Ditka in Chicago. Do your job right and you won't have to kiss anybody's ass. That's on my bathroom mirror. That's on my wall beside my desk in my home office. I just love how blunt Buddy was when it came to responsibility and all this other stuff. Like, as if you have to, kiss up to this person and network with this person. Buddy Ryan had it right. Do your job right and you won't have to kiss anybody's ass. Number 40, lead your family. More is caught than taught. I already talked about that. Your daily habits, your language, your actions, your behavior, scream to your queen. Scream to your children. Scream to the teenagers. More is caught than taught, and nothing is more contagious, good and bad, than your example as king. Number 41, the great Don Cherry. Grapes is the same age as my dad, 91, turning 92. His dad told him one time, better to be shot for being a wolf than shot for being a lamb. That talks about courage, sticking your neck out, not having boundaries, not being a people pleaser, not caring what other people think, doing the right thing regardless, even if it's unpopular or even if people don't appreciate it. It's better to be shot for being a wolf than shot for being a lamb. We have way too many lambs in today's world and not enough wolves and lions. 42, my dad, pressure is a privilege. One time I was talking about pressure, about coaching, the demands of coaching a top-rated program, running a 7-8 figure, multi-million-dollar business, pressure of being a dad, pressure of being a husband. My dad laughed and he said, pressure is a privilege. Pressure is a privilege. He says, pressure makes diamonds and pressure is a privilege. He said, the only people who don't have pressure are the people down the road there by that graveyard. They have headstones. They're no longer breathing. So get over yourself. Nobody's coming to save you, and pressure is a privilege. Be grateful for the expectations you have. Be grateful for the pressure. Pressure makes diamonds. Number 43, hug your wife and children every day and tell them, I'm proud of you. Every time that I walk in those doors 7 days a week, my wife and my daughter are up by then, and they're sitting at the table getting ready for school. And I always walk in after my morning walk, and I give my wife a big bear hug. And I always tell her I love her, and sometimes I tell her I'm proud of her. I always hug my daughter, look her in the eye and say how much I love her and I'm proud of her. And that's how we start their day. That's how I'm leading my family. Me coming in, I'm in a high frequency mood, I'm in a positive mood, and I just go over there and I hug the most important people and let them know that they're incredibly special to me. Let me see here, 44, 96% of mental health problems, are you with me, are manufactured by habits and actions. To be depressed, you have to have a depressing lifestyle. To be anxious, you have to be having an anxiety-based lifestyle. You have to have those inputs. You have to be doom scrolling, following politics, watching TV, comparing yourself to other people on anti-social media, not sleeping, eating the wrong foods, drinking. It's all lifestyle, it's all inputs. And if you want to have, wealth, health, and happiness, those are the inputs and lifestyle that you need to be putting in. But 96% of so-called mental health issues could be fixed by wellness and lifestyle decisions, better choices of inputs. Number 45, alcohol makes you fatter, dumber, and older. I read that the other day and it stuck with me. Drinking is the behavior of the quiet desperation majority, the average, the ordinary, and the mediocre. When I decided to walk away from booze over 4 years ago, people asked me, why or how did you do it? And I said, it just didn't fit with my life. I want to be a high performance person. And I said, drinking alcohol is normie behavior. It's civilian behavior. So it didn't fit in my life anymore. I don't care if a person drinks or doesn't drink, but it didn't fit in my life anymore. And it's no damn good for me. So I walked away from it 4 years ago, but that was the decision. I was sitting there, working to be a high performance person, working on my personal productivity and my growth and all this other stuff. And here I was poisoning myself with alcohol. This no longer fit. And I said, this is the behavior of the quiet desperation. Why am I doing this to myself? And I stopped that day. Number 46, when you take the trash out in your life, the time vampires, the energy vampires, your toxic friends, people, when you take the trash out in your life and business to the curb, don't bring it back in. That's one of the rules in my book. There's a link below to my print book, How to Not Get Your Ass Kicked in Business and in Life. The link is below. That's one of the chapters. When you take the trash to the curb, make sure you don't let it back in your house or your business or your home. Get rid of the takers, get rid of the vampires, get rid of the toxic people and things in your life, substances, food, people, habits, and then make sure when you take the trash out, you don't collect it and bring it back in. 47, my dad taught me this in the insurance business. He wore a suit and tie for 46 straight years. Never did I see my dad without a tie in 46 years in the insurance business. And I asked him about it one time. I said, Dad, some days you could just wear a golf shirt. Or he stopped me. He said, hey, the better I look, the more money I make. The better I look, the more money I make. He says, I want to be the best dressed guy in my industry, the best dressed guy in my community, the best dressed guy in my town. And he says, when I do that, the better I look, the more money I make. I've never forgot that. He said, always dress like you're in the wrong league. Always dress like you're in the wrong league, like you're going to the next level or you're from the next level. When I was coaching junior hockey, I said, Sheldon Keefe said the same thing to me. He said, I dress like I'm in the wrong league. He was dressing in junior like he was going to coach in the NHL, three-piece suit. And it was about 4 or 5 years later, Sheldon was the head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. So he said, I always dress like I'm in the wrong league. Wasn't long until he was in that next higher league. let me see here. If you're not, punctuality is everything. I use punctuality for vendors, for friends, for anybody that I want to hire, any player I want to recruit. If you can't be on time, you can't be trusted. So if somebody is a minute late or 30 seconds late or 15 minutes late, it makes no difference to me. If you can't be punctual, it means you can't be trusted. And I lock the doors with my hockey teams for my meetings, for my practices, for my video sessions. If my guys were late, they didn't play. They didn't play. They sat in the stands. And the thing about punctuality is it gives you the right to demand the same of others. So, you know, I drive my daughter to school every day. The truck leaves at 7:59 from the driveway. And she learned the hard way that if she's there at 8 o'clock coming out to get, the truck's already gone. So it gives you the right to demand the same of other people. But it's how I test people in my life, whether I want a relationship or whether I want a business relationship or whether I had a printer one time and he had the best of everything, best prices, best paper and everything. And he was 15 minutes late. I decided right then and there before the meeting that we would never do business, because if he's 15 minutes late for the first meeting, there ain't no chance that guy's ever going to meet a deadline. So nothing is more powerful than being a punctual person. And again, you're setting the tone for everybody else in your world. If you're not 5 minutes early, you're 5 minutes late. If you can't be on time, you can't be trusted. Amen to that. Okay, one more page here. I can't believe I wrote all this in a couple hours this morning. Number 49, praise outstanding people. This is a game changer. This is one you won't believe, but I believe in praising people behind their backs, and I believe clear is kind. So if I have something harsh to say to somebody, they get it right in the face. They get it right between the eyes. I'll tell an athlete, I'll tell an employee, I'll tell my daughter, I'll tell a friend, I'll tell some, if they need the blunt truth, I tell it to their face. Clear is kind, unclear is unkind. Brene Brown 101. But here's something that people don't know. If I wanted a player to hear me say something about them, or an employee or somebody, just praise them behind their back and tell the person, you know, don't say anything, but I just want to let you know that she's doing an outstanding job. Don't say anything, but I want to let you know that Trevor he is working so hard and I'm so pleased and proud of him. Or don't say anything, but man, we are we're so excited with his recent leadership, and we couldn't be happier with his performance. Oh man, it's only a few hours to maybe a day later that gets back to that person that you were complimenting them and bragging about them behind their back. Clear is kind to their face, and start getting in the habit of praising people behind their back. Number 5, your wife is your best friend. She's your ride or die partner. Krista is my very best friend. We not only love each other, but we like each other. And if that's not your situation, if your marriage isn't on fire, it's hard, it's difficult. There's lots of ups and downs and flows. But at the end of the day, it's the number one most important decision you'll ever make, your children will ever make, that you'll ever make. So it's pretty important to understand that you get this wrong, you live on hard mode. And if you get this right, then life is so much simpler. So, and it's on you, you know. Dating your wife is a huge way to take your marriage to the next level. Walking, Chris and I go out on walks on the weekend and just talk. But if you're struggling in your marriage, that's on you, and you need to take action as king to do things like date your wife or go on aimless walks or whatever it is, because that's the decision you've made, and she's your ride or die partner. And she can be your secret weapon, she can be your best friend, and if it's the opposite, that's on you, and you need as a man to step up and improve that relationship. Best investment you could ever make. Wayne Maxner, the great Wayne Maxner, my hockey mentor. Maxner coached the Detroit Red Wings when he was 34, one of the greatest junior Canadian hockey coaches in history. Wayne and I worked together for 3.5 years. Maxner always told me and our players, I was his assistant coach, he said, things do not happen to you, they happen for you. So you're not a victim. Things that happen, good or bad, they're there as lessons. There's winning and there's learning. And when something bad happens or you go through adversity or tough times, what's the lesson? What can we learn from this? And embracing failure, learning to love, loving failure, because that's how you eventually win, and always being in learning mode. But things don't happen to you, things happen for you. And having an open mind and saying, okay, this has been extremely difficult. What can I learn from this? How can this make me even better? 52, how do you spell love as a husband, father, grandfather? T-I-M-E. They don't give a shit about your gifts and your presents and your cars and your homes and all that. You know what your queen wants? You know what your children want? You know what your adult children want? You know what your grandchildren want? They want time. T-I-M-E. And they want you to be where your feet are. They want the precious present. They don't want you sitting there night after night on your fucking phone. What's the message you're sending your queen and your kids? That whatever's in that phone is more important than them. And that's fucking horse shit. If that's your life, then man, oh man, you are selling out on the most important people in your life. Are you kidding me? I lock my phone away at 4 p.m. I've been doing it for 25 years. Best thing ever. I'm not perfect. I make lots of mistakes. Sometimes I upset my wife and my kid, but I'll tell you right now, there's one thing they do know, that I'm fucking all in. I'm all in. And they know that because I'm not staring at some phone and scrolling and worried about sports betting and pretending that I'm working. I'm all in all the way. So that's an absolute big one. It's how do you spell love? T-I-M-E. Can you be a great husband and a great father? 2 words. Be there. Those are the 2 words that make a great family man. Be there, and be there present. Be where your feet are. Be both feet in today. Lock the phone away. T-I-M-E is how you spell love, and 2 words, be there. Number 53, nobody knows what the hell they're doing. That goes back to the pedestals. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop putting people on pedestals. Stop admiring celebrities and movie stars and athletes and the people in the world that are on anti-social media, and run your own race. The only person that you compete with is the man in the glass. That's the guy you see when you brush your teeth in the morning. That's your only competition, the man in the glass. That's the man you have to beat every day. That's the person you have to compete with. Everything else is noise and distraction. Remember that. That is so, so important. There's nobody knows what the hell they're doing. Just because they made a bit of money, just because they have more money than you, or just because they are in better shape, that doesn't mean that they're not going through something. They're all going through something. And we all struggle. There's no adults in the room. None of us know what the hell we're doing. We're human beings. We're mistake-making machines. And we just have to understand and worry about ourselves and run our own race, and stop putting people on pedestals, and stop comparing yourself to others. Run your own race and become the best version of yourself every single day. That's where success is found. Number 54, there's nothing more powerful, impactful than sitting down and writing somebody a hand-addressed, genuine, old-fashioned thank you card. I've been writing 5 thank you cards a day for 25 years, and it's impacted my life and business like never before. I send these out to people that have done me a favor, or showed me some kindness, or went above and beyond, or just deserve some recognition. And man, oh man, when you send these old-fashioned thank you cards to people, 25 a week, it's just exponential, the type of abundance and how it makes you magnetic. Who in your world needs to hear from you today? Whether it's a real phone call, whether it's a handwritten thank you card, whatever, from you today. Nothing more powerful. Number 55, my mom's rule, my expectation. My mom always said, Mom, I got a A- in history, or Mom, I got a B+ in geography. And she'd say, you can do better. I expect better. And that's the drive. That's where my will and my drive comes from, is my mom. My mom always said, good job. You can do even better. You can do even better. I expect great things from you. And just remember, when it comes to standards in your life, personal or business, whatever you tolerate, you'll get more of. Whatever you tolerate, you'll get more of that. So if your standards are like A+, you'll get more A+ results. If your standards are D-, you'll get more D- in business, in your personal life. Whatever you tolerate, you'll get more of that. Raise your standards. Number 56, I teach this to my daughter all the time with her charities, with her writing, with her podcasts. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. Man, oh man, you've got to learn to sell your way through life. You've got to teach your kids to sell their way through life. Everything in life is selling. The school you get into, the college you get into, the money you make, the promotion you get, the person that you date, the person you marry, the price you get at the grocery store, how much you pay for a car, everything is negotiable. And teaching your kids how to sell is the most valuable thing you can do as a father. And I keep telling my daughter, if you don't ask, the answer is what? No. Go ask. Kids today hiding behind, they're afraid to do this, afraid to do that. I'm like, do it trembling if you must, but do it. Ask that person for their business. Ask that person for that phone number. Ask that person and just get that alligator skin where you're not afraid to ask people. If we don't ask, the answer is always no. And I reminded my daughter the other day, I said, the quality of your life, sweetie, will be the quality of the questions you ask yourself and other people. Keep asking for things that you want. Finally, the last one, when the king does not rise, the kingdom dies. I think I started with my most powerful one and end it with my most powerful one. It's another one that's on my bathroom mirror. When the king does not rise, the kingdom dies. And we see so much of that today. Guys taking a knee, guys tapping out, guys not showing up as husbands, fathers, and leaders. When the king does not rise, the kingdom dies. I hope you can find something out of these 57 unpopular thoughts of myself turning 57. That's a lot of bloody-nosed experience. That's a lot of expensive experience. That's a lot of losing, frustration, and finding a way to turn it around and to turn losses into wins. I hope you find that helpful. I appreciate any comments below. You can get a copy of my brand new, I got a one-page time management card that you can print off. It's a PDF for you. The link is below. And I call it my one-page Make Shit Happen card. And it's just my entire day from 6 a.m. until I go to bed at 10 p.m. And it's just a checklist of all the things that I do throughout my day. I'm sure you'll find it very helpful. It's not that people are lazy. It's people, they require a little more focus and a little more structure and a little more accountability. And that's what this one-page get shit done productivity sheet will help you do. And it's the playbook. It's the one-page playbook I've been running for the last, 25 years, tweaking it here and there to help me get shit done every week. The link is below. You can download it. I'll email it to you. It's a PDF form. You can print it off. You can use it every day. You can check it out. It's in the link below. My one-page time management get shit done PDF. That's it for today. 2 words that changed my life. 2 words that'll change yours. Be relentless.